So the question was, why do you like Super Mario 3D World more than other 3D Marios? And I think he's referring to Mario 64. First of all, I'm fine with Mario 64. Mario 64 is fine. I've played through it. I've beaten it. I actually did a glitch video on Mario 64 before. People have been asking me, oh, you know, you've said a few times that you really like Mario 3D World, and I do, like as far as 3D Mario worlds go. In general, I am mostly a 2D Mario guy. Like, you guys know that. I like Mario 3 and Mario World and all that. When it comes to 3D Marios, a little bit less so. But if I had to pick one that I really liked as far as the 3D ones, I like Mario 3D World. But he's asking why exactly. I was never huge on the Nintendo 64 polygonal type of graphics. It sort of depends, though. With certain games, I think it works really well. Like, I think it works great with Star Fox, because it's like, it ships. Like Star Fox 64, I mean. But when it comes to characters, for example, like Ocarina of Time, I never liked, when you see like Link and he's got that like polygonal nose and whatever, I always wanted it to be more like rounded, and how it is like later, like how he looks in Breath of the Wild. I like how that looks way better, or Twilight Princess or whatever. I think they started, you know, how it started to get smoothed out. You gotta remember, I also grew up with the NES Mario games, but then you jump into 3D and it wasn't quite there yet, you know, but it was a marvel for what it was. It was one of the first 3D games. Very groundbreaking in many ways, and I know a lot of people are very nostalgic for it, but I was a little bit older when it came out, so I wasn't quite as nostalgic for that as I was like the NES and Super Nintendo era. So I think maybe nostalgia can play a little bit of a part in it. Like, I felt like Mario Galaxy was more my speed. Red Zero says, I have a nostalgic feeling for Super Mario 64 because I really enjoyed playing it at 12 to 14 years old. See, you're younger than I am. I would agree that the graphics aren't really that good. So that was like, you were basically like a kid when you were playing that, but you're saying you don't think the graphics are that great. Nowadays, Mario 64 has been completely decompiled and can be modded to the extreme to look amazing. That's how everybody should play it on PC. I might like how it looks more in that respect, but so there's more elements to this. So the other thing about some of the 3D Marios is they started to incorporate the long jump. And I've never really liked the long jump very much. It's the jump where you gotta like jump once, jump twice, and then it does like the flip at the end. I'm sure some people like love that. I don't really like it. Like Mario 3D World, it's more like you get like the cat item. So if you want to like get up high, you become the cat, and then you like climb with the cat. And again, Mario 64 is obviously, you know, it was a groundbreaking game, but it was an early 3D game, so the camera wasn't really quite the best yet, and as they progressively released more Mario games over the years, it got better and better and better. So by the time you get all the way up to Mario 3D World, you know, it's a long time like later. The camera controls are much better. It's just much more advanced, you know. Beaming, but did you ever play Mario Odyssey on Switch? You couldn't get into that one either. I did. I played through, I think, all of it on stream, actually, so you could go check that out. It's on YouTube. It was quite a while ago. Mario Odyssey, I'm like half and half with that. It was like alright, but I wasn't like, I wasn't head over heels about it. I didn't really like the Cappy thing. So Senketsu says, I liked the 2D Mario games until Galaxy came out, was not a big fan of Mario 64. See, I liked Mario Galaxy, and I wanted to be able to play it, but it made me motion sick, and it's always upset me, because like I know that I like the game. Like, I'll play it for a little bit, and then I start to feel motion sick, and then I can't. Rocky Man says, I always maintain that 3D World is the best of the 3D Marios ever due to the linearity and difficulty in gameplay. Yeah, and it gets like very difficult like later. Yeah, I agree with that. The linearity, maybe that's what the difference is, because I guess Mario sort of 64 and Mario Odyssey and all that are also, they're like more open world, and where I guess 3D World is more stage to stage. That might be another aspect to it. How, you know, you're just sort of going like stage to stage, but you go stage to stage in like Mario Odyssey, like, so I don't know. And in Mario 64, like, you jump into the painting and, like, then you're on the stage and then you beat the stage. So that doesn't really work. Let's see. This is from B-Dog. Very true. I have nostalgia for the graphics of the Nintendo 64 in that time period because I got the Nintendo 64 and Mario 64 at Christmas, and I still enjoy playing Mario 64 around Christmas time years later. I also got the Nintendo 64 for Christmas, but I was like 17 or something, and I remember I got like Mario Kart, and I played like some Mario Kart, and it wasn't something that I like asked for. And then I think I got Smash Brothers and like Ocarina of Time, and I played them and they were like fine. But then I like went to college, and then I like sort of like jumped back into like NES games and Atari games and stuff like that again. So I kind of like I'd play a little bit of Nintendo 64, and there were games that I like Wave Race, and I like Star Fox, and I like GoldenEye, and I had all those games, and I liked them. So I did play the stuff, but I was a little bit older. I was more playing it when I was like 19 or whatever. So it wasn't like, it's not like when you play a game when you're like 11 or 10, like I'm playing NES. It's different when you're playing a game you're 10, 11 compared to you playing a game when you're 19 or 20. It's two kind of different things, like nostalgia. I feel like the nostalgia doesn't hit you as hard. So Nintendo 64 wasn't really hitting me as hard because I'm older. So I was more like NES really, and Super Nintendo. That was more where it was hitting me. Definitely, even more, mostly the NES is where the nostalgia hits me. Dark Sly says, I really wanted to like Galaxy, but I cannot stand the mandatory Wiimote controller. Never played the sequel. That I totally can get that. With me, I've been playing a lot of Wii lately, and you guys have seen that, and I like the Wiimote when it comes to the rail shooters, I've learned. That's where I think their Wii really shines. Zanato says, what is Mario 3D World? Mario 3D World is a game that I think it first came out on Wii U, right? And then they ported it to Switch, and then they added in Bowser's Fury and all that. I don't like Bowser's Fury. I played through that on stream, and I did not enjoy that very much. Just when I talk about Mario 3D World, I'm talking about just the regular Mario 3D World. When they added in, like, oh, here comes Bowser every 5 minutes, I don't like that. Oh, here we go. And then B. Doan says, so what about that camera? Compare the game you play right now. Camera is fixed mostly. You mean Cluster Truck? Open world platform games, the camera can be a right pain. It's another game mechanic to contend with. Yeah, but like I feel like it works for what I remember at least. I think it works really well with like Mario 3D World. And if you're going all the way back to Nintendo 64, yeah, there was a lot of games that had a lot of, camera issues and whatnot. It's interesting because Mario 64 is a very polarizing game because a lot of people like love it and a lot of people don't like it. Vyrick01 says, I like Mario 64 for barring the camera. Vertical Seafood Taco says the camera is ass. Hawk111111 says Mario 64 is too easy. Okay. You know what? I have beaten Mario 64, and I actually have to agree with that. I'm not one of these people that can, like, speed run it, like, really well, and, like, I'm not, like, a master of the controls or anything. But just to play through the game normally and beat it, I do think it's, like, a really easy game. So I actually agree with that. I think it is too easy. By the way, I think Super Mario World is also too easy, though. That said, it's just that I like Super Mario World more because I like the 16-bit style of that more. Like, I don't know, I find it more appealing. Fearless Flyer says the camera is garbage. See, I feel like so the camera, I feel like it's one of these things where if you played a lot of Super Mario 64 back then and you're nostalgic for it and you got used to it, I think it was the type of thing where if you played a bunch of it, you would get used to it. But it's like, that's the thing. You could get used to it and be great at it, but that's the thing is you have to get used to it. It's not like, a game now where it's just like, it's kind of like we're sort of spoiled now. It's like the camera angles are just good and you don't have to worry about it. All those problems are like fixed. Where back then you could play the game perfectly and get through it, but you gotta like get used to it because it wasn't quite there yet, Thank you, Red Eye Blazin' Dan, for the sub. Captain Pywell says, the problem with the camera in the N64 era was the lack of the second thumbstick. It's just the nature of the control of the camera. That's a really good point. I like that a lot. Absolutely. So right here, I have a GameCube controller, and when it got to here, like, this was like, when you could like turn the camera with the C stick in like Wind Waker, that was where I felt like it was like perfect. But yeah, you're moving your character around, you're moving the camera around. The Nintendo 64 didn't have that, and Mario 3D World has that. So it's like, that's a really, really, really good point, and I'm glad that you said that, because I think that that's a very strong argument for the more modern games over Mario 64. It has C buttons to move the camera. Yeah, but like the stick I like the stick better. Like you could do the C buttons or whatever, but that's not as good. And that, and I'm not saying that I dislike that game. I do like Mario 64. I just think the newer stuff's better, The developers had no idea what they were doing. Right stick didn't even fucking exist. Yeah, exactly. It didn't exist yet. So later on they figured out better things. Can we talk about what we do and don't like about Breath of the Wild? So listen, sure, but in another question on another day. I've been doing these videos. If you see this later on YouTube and you have things to add to this, obviously, leave a comment and add something. But if you want to ask me another question about another topic, Zelda or whatever other video game, let me know. Leave a comment, and maybe I will answer you on stream, and you too can be in one of these Mike's Mailbag videos. I answer stuff that's like a good topic thing. Some people see these Mike's Mailbag things, and they're like, hey Mike, you should play Rygar. And I'm like, it's not for suggesting streams. It's you leave a topic, a video game related topic question as a comment on the YouTube video. And then they're like, you should play Mega Man 2. And I'm like,